Hello, my name is James Hutchinson. I'm an account manager with Volta Incorporated, a US-based electric vehicle or EV charging station company. With me today is Samantha Flipson, the Vice President of Central Procurement, Store Operations, and Merchandising for Loblaws Companies Limited. We are just breaking out of the US charging station market. And Loblaws is Volta's first Canadian company we have approached. Our objective today is to have Loblaws commit to a $3.3 million partnership with Volta that would see 60 of our EV charging stations installed at 16 selected store locations in Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. I see that she is ready to join us, so let's let her in. Hi, Mrs. Flipson, how are you?
Oh, hi. I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. Please call me Samantha.
Okay, Samantha. First off, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. I've been looking forward to this meeting for a very long time. My name is James. My coworkers call me Jamie. You see, I'm the account manager leading this project. I'm a Canadian. I'm living in San Francisco for the last 4 years, ever since I joined Volta.
They thought a Canadian should be the one to talk to another Canadian, eh?
Well, actually, they thought a francophone might be on the files, and since I'm one of the few people who actually speak French, they chose me. But I actually think this is a great opportunity to connect with my roots and do business back in Canada. Now, before we begin, I know that you have been part of the procurement process here, and that you have likely received all the communications between Volta and Loblaws. I just want to ensure that you have a copy of the materials I emailed your team. I'm wondering if you have any questions about the proposal or our industry or about us. Since thus far, most of my conversations have been with Alain Brandon, your VP for Sustainability, Social Impact, and Governance Relations. My understanding is that you reached out to Volta because you're looking to achieve a net zero emissions by 2040, and you think Volta can help you with this. Is that correct?
Yes and yes. LA is the driver of our environmental initiatives. He is the one who heard about your recent partnership with Kroger's Grocery in the States and convinced our board that a similar partnership might help Loblaws achieve its strategic goals of reducing our carbon footprint and fight our climate change. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, LA is away today, but that's okay because I am responsible for all strategic procurements regarding our stores.
Okay.
So now I do have a copy of the agenda, the price list, and your sales proposal, and I agree it's worth our discussion here today. But I was hoping you could give me the same presentation you sent to LA. I don't own an electric car yet, so I'd like to familiarize myself with your industry before we begin.
Sure, not a problem. Let me just bring out the presentation for us. Can you see that?
I can, yes, I sure
Okay.
can.
So a little bit of background on our company. Oh, sorry. This is our agenda, just as a copy.
Yes.
So some background information about us as a company. We were founded in 2010. We're located in San Francisco, California. For EV charging, the stations, there's three levels: L1, L2, and L3. They they deal with the amount of power that's actually used in charging. For our purposes, we're really concerned with L2 and L3 chargers because those are the ones that we manufacture, own, operate, and maintain with our clients. So we are one of very unique in this industry because we are the industry first to combine advertising with EV charging. And we own a lot of the patents behind this technology. We've created advertisement with a purpose. So Volta is one of the many companies that have emerged downstream of the EV auto sector. There's a massive, monumental push right now to electrify all vehicles in North America. Just last month, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced that he wants all new vehicle sales to be electric vehicles by 2035. Right now, those numbers are at 3.5%. So they're coming, and the auto industry has already made the shift towards this. So they're coming fast, and now's the time to adapt. Now, in terms of size, Volta is actually one of the smaller companies. To give you some reference, ChargePoint has about 130 charging stations globally. Blink and EVgo have about 23,000. Tesla has their own network of superchargers. At Volta, we have about 4,000 chargers operating in 26 states in the US. Now, we're the smallest, but we're also the most used network. And we have the greatest amount of satisfaction with our customers. We think this is because of our unique business model. So in Canada, there's 16,000 charging stations. This includes 1,300 L3 chargers. The network needs to expand. Right now, most EVs are found in cities or urban or towns. This affects the range. So they're going to need stations or EV charging stations along highways and in rural areas so that they can extend the range of electric vehicles, just like how we use gas stations right now. Now, consequently, our industry hasn't broken this mold yet of the gas station. So a lot of these charging stations still look like gas stations and operate as such. These two pictures are an example. You have a Tesla supercharging station and an EVgo charging station. Now, in the city itself, consumers don't want to go to a charging station and wait half an hour for their vehicles to charge. They want to charge at the places they're at, like work, shopping malls, theaters, and also grocery stores. They can just top up their vehicle. So right now, there is a real estate bonanza on parking lots in North America, but there hasn't been much planning put into how they will be placed or how these stations will look. So our competitors still see this as just a commodity with revenues coming from sales of charging boxes or from L3 usage from consumers. They're little more than a utility box in the middle of a parking lot. They're unattractive. They have only a single purpose, and they're kind of an eyesore in front of businesses. There are also liability issues with cables running amok. Someone could actually trip over them. What we do is completely different. This is because we're as much an advertising company as an EV charging company. We only want the stalls at the front of your store. This is because in this location, our 55-inch dual display monitors will have maximum effect of reaching consumers with targeted advertising, influencing their choices right before they enter your store to make their purchases. Any questions so far?
I'm just thinking about the electricity usage. So how do you separate the usage from the store's usage to the Volta charging units? Won't that increase our carbon footprint with the extra power usage?
Okay, so yes, the way we do that is that there's a trunk line from the building to the charging unit and it's metered. We now we provide, this is actually industry standard. People expect to have complimentary, especially from L2 chargers. We we give you a rent, we call it a rent, and we pay for their electricity usage. Now, in terms of the carbon footprint, kind of a problem of government environmental planning. They want people to everyone to use EVs, but that's going to mean more power usage. So right now they're scrambling how to replace coal or gas-fired power generation. That's kind of on them. What we do, and is we found out that public perception is more soft and accepting of power usage meant towards environmentally friendly causes like EVs. So that combined with the fact that it's a trunk line, you get to separate EV usage from your store usage in your reporting. Does that answer your question for that one?
It does. Thank you. That makes sense to me now.
Okay, moving on here. So you see, the point I'm trying to make, Samantha, is that we want to exceed your expectations of achieving your net zero emissions. It's not just about environmental goals. We provide a solution that you get to benefit from targeted advertising. Your consumers get to benefit through complementary charging too. Summed up, it looks kind of like this. You get to simultaneously showcase your environmental initiatives and products with Volta's elegant charging solutions. You get to attract more highly engaged visitors to your business for longer periods of time. So this is the presentation I actually gave LA. Any questions on this so far?
Not about the industry. I do understand I understand the industry and where your business perspective is now. I think I might actually start looking at EV cars to purchase one for myself. If I can go around town to get free gas, so to speak, why not? Um, so I just want to concentrate more on the business between Volta and Loblaws at this point. This is more than I was expecting, to be honest. It's not my department. But I think I might want our marketing department to hear about this as well. But for now, tell me more about your product.
Okay, no problem. I've actually created a second part of this presentation. Um, I cover the features and how it works and the benefits. Maybe this will answer some of your questions for you. Do you want to see it?
Absolutely. Please continue.
Okay, let me just go back to our screen here. You can see that right now?
I do. Thank you.
All right. So these are our L2 and L3 chargers. They're identical. They're about 7 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 1 foot in depth. The DC fast chargers are a little bit different because they have different signage and a payment pad. Any questions on that?
I'm a little bit concerned about vandalism, um, and the theft of the charging cables themselves. What if that happens?
Okay, so we thought of this. The actual connector for the cable to the unit is inside a locked case. So if they cut the wires, um, all you have to do is plug in a new cable. We give the store a bunch of new cables so that you don't have to wait for maintenance to arrive, and we will replace the cables free of cost so long as there's video surveillance of the theft.
Oh, that's great. We have cameras all over the store, so that's not a problem.
Okay, so just moving on. This is how it works. We're seeking you as a host partner. Hosts are the ones that actually have the chargers on site. As the host, you get to select from our media partners, our advertising partners, which is on the right here, to have their adverts displayed on the charging stations. Or as a host, you can actually have your own advertisements displayed on it. Payments, like for the DC fast, complaints, updates, and maintenance is provided by Volta. Any questions?
So marketing is not my forte. I'm really sorry that LA didn't bring our VP of marketing into this meeting. I really do apologize for that. I do want to pursue this. Can you tell me about how our advertisement gets displayed and how it is tailored to our needs and our brands?
Okay, so we know like you don't want competing brands, but you sell Coke. Uh, Coke. This is just actual an example of how many things Coca-Cola is one of our advertising partners. So you can select Coke to be on your playlist. We will. You get to decide the order it goes in, and we will upload it to the displays and have it played on it. You can also upload any of your own advertising to Volta, and we will do it over the air to the actual station so it plays as well. This can be slow motion, tracked, or just a fixed picture.
Okay. Is there any sound?
No, there's no sound. We found that the sound is actually more of an irritant to consumers, so it's just the pictures.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. So these are the benefits. We want to help your company achieve your net zero emissions by extending it to consumers. Their their reduction in the footprint is also your reduction in the footprint. We want to showcase your environmental initiatives. Showcase is a key thing because people don't see all of your initiatives. You know, your reduction in heating or cooling, that's all behind the scenes. This is a tangible thing in front of your stores. We want to encourage EV usage by providing premium parking spaces in front of the store. It makes EV users feel special. We also provide complimentary charging, which will attract more customers for longer periods of time. We want to influence consumer decisions right before they enter the store through strategic advertising. And we provide cost competitive white glove installation. We do charge for installation, but we will cover everything. We'll do all the install for you, including the electrical. Adding EV chargers puts your business on the map, quite literally, actually. We have the Volta app, but any other app, especially for EV, when they look for EV charging stations, it comes up as your business name. We cover all operations, over-the-air media, and software updates, and we provide hassle-free maintenance and servicing. We deal with the damage and complaints. Any questions so far?
Um, so I just have a couple scenarios that
Oh,
we can go over.
okay.
As I had already mentioned prior to. So I'm an EV driver who's never heard of Volta. Is your charging station compatible with my car?
Yes, it's a universal adapter. Um, all EVs have different plugins. They don't have a standard, kind of like how Apple did with its products. Uh, Drivers carry around an adapter that will fit their plug, and it will fit our universal adapter. Uh, yeah, so it
Okay.
is compatible.
Okay. All right. So say I want to use DC fast and charge for longer than 30 minutes. Do I have to pay with your app?
We do have the app. There is payment plan on it, but no, the payment plan accepts credit or debit card.
Okay. Um, what if I have a complaint, as in it's not working? I'm going to go into the store and complain, of course, because I think they own it.
Right. Um, we thought of that, and if there's an issue with the actual unit, it will display on the screen a number to call for Volta, and that the store cannot do anything about it. If it's the actual screen itself, it's also hard printed onto the unit itself.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Let's look at the proposal. I know it's a 3.3 million and that's an estimate. Can you break that down for me?
Sure, that's actually my last slide.
Oh, wonderful.
So when we created this proposal for you, we thought that your inspiration was the Kroger deal. So we tailored it very similar to that. So this is just a 2-year trial project. That way you have an escape if things don't turn out. Um, we have predictive EV technology that we use to scan markets that will be emerging, where electric vehicles are being sold the most or the fastest. And we identified 5 locations in Vancouver, 6 in Toronto, and 4 in Montreal that would benefit the most or see the most traffic. The total number of L2 units would be 50, and L3 units would be 10. For unit costs, there is a $500,000 deposit. This is refundable at the end of the 2-year contract, or if you renew, it will be returned to you at the end of the life cycle of the unit, which is 4 years. There is an installation charge of $10,000 per unit. There is a rebate on this. I'll get that to in a second. For the media costs, this industry standard is cost per 1,000 impressions or frames. The price is $8.50, which is comparable to what Google, Facebook charges. The average impression display length is 5 seconds. So on a typical day, a unit will display 6,000 images or impressions, and that makes it about a $51 daily media cost. Over the 2 years, times 60 units, that's $2.2 million roughly. Now, for the discounts and rebates, the federal government of Canada offers a zero emissions vehicle program, or Zebit, our pictures are covering it. But this is a government rebate that pays companies to install EV stations. Now, since we own it, we can't do that for the actual purchase of the units, but you can apply it for the installation fee. So if you get a rebate from the ZVIP, that is a $300,000 rebate. You also receive rent from Volta for the usage by consumers. That is variable based on the rates and who uses it. So the estimated total is 3.3 million before rebates or 2.5 million after rebates.
Okay. Okay. So sorry, I cut you off there. Are you finished with
No,
that part?
that's it. That's the
Okay,
proposal.
sorry. Okay, so this does look really enticing. Thank you for your forward outlook on store choices. We don't have that kind of software and research capability, so it makes it a lot easier for us. I also like the idea that we have an escape, so to speak, after 2 years if it doesn't work out. How long does your project take approximately?
Our project takes about 6 to 12 months. 6 months if you already have media prepared, 12 months if you want our own media teams to help create advertisements for you.
Okay, okay.
So that's it.
Yeah,
So what next steps, if there's any next steps for this?
yes. So I just wanted to say that I'm very pleased with the information you've presented to me today. What I can give you is a promise to purchase at this point. That's a commitment to your proposal, but not a legal binding agreement at this point. It will be. I just need to let my leadership and your leadership know they should prepare for this to launch as soon as possible. You have LA's green light and my go ahead with approved sites, but I do need marketing on board with this before we can sign the official contract. Be on standby. If I need marketing to contact you, would that be all right?
Absolutely. I'll get in touch with my own marketing department too to have any kind of presentation for them too.
Sure, sure. They might want to negotiate on the price or any of the technical presentation part that you presented to me. I hope we can schedule a full board meeting for contract signing within the next month.
Wonderful. I look forward to talking to you again.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great day and stay tuned.
Thanks, Samantha. Talk to
Take
you soon.
care. Bye
Bye.
bye.